Professor Keithis stood at the front of her classroom and looked at the empty seats. In a few minutes, her students would arrive. She had taught galactic species studies for 40 years. She had seen students from hundreds of different worlds. She thought she knew everything about alien cultures. Today was different. Today, for the first time in the history of the Galactic Academy, human students would join her class. Keithis was a Villani. Her species had blue skin and 4 arms. They were known for being calm and logical. They never panicked. They never showed strong emotions. This was why Keithis was perfect for teaching about dangerous species. She had read all the reports about humans. They came from a small planet called Earth. They had only discovered space travel 200 years ago. They were considered a young species. The reports said they were friendly but strange. Keithis was not worried. She had taught students from warrior species. She had taught students who breathed poison. She could handle 3 human exchange students. The door opened and her regular students came inside. There were 12 of them from 6 different worlds. They took their seats and talked quietly with each other. Keithis noticed they kept looking at the 3 empty seats in the front row. "Professor," said a Krillian student named Borthos. He had green scales and nervous eyes. "Is it true? Are humans really coming to our class?" "Yes," Keithis said. 3 human exchange students will join us this semester. I expect everyone to treat them with respect." "But Professor," said another student, a small Fenari with soft fur. "I heard humans are dangerous. My parent told me they conquered their entire planet." Keithis raised one of her 4 hands. "Humans are no more dangerous than any other species. They are simply different. This class is about understanding differences. Now, let us wait for our new classmates." The door opened again. 3 young humans walked inside. Keithis studied them carefully. They looked soft. They had no scales, no claws, no protective shells. Their skin was smooth and came in different shades of brown. They had hair only on their heads. They walked on 2 legs and had 2 arms. They seemed fragile. The first human was a male. He was tall, with short black hair and a friendly smile. The second was a female. She was shorter, with long, dark hair tied behind her head. The third was another male. He was the tallest of the 3, with a calm face. "Welcome," Keithis said. "Please introduce yourselves." The tall male spoke first. "Hello, everyone. My name is Jinho. I am very happy to be here. I study biology on Earth." The female stepped forward. "I am Yuna. I study cultural exchange. I want to learn about all your amazing species." The last male nodded politely. "My name is Teho. I study engineering. Thank you for accepting us." Keithis noticed something strange. The other students had moved back in their seats. They were afraid. But the humans showed no fear at all. They smiled like they were meeting old friends. "Please take your seats," Keithis said. "Today we begin a new project. Each student will present footage from their homeworld. The topic is simple. I want to see what your species does for fun." The students nodded. This was an easy assignment. Every semester, Keithis asked this question. She had seen thousands of videos. The Fenari showed themselves swimming in warm pools. The Krillians showed their beautiful garden ceremonies. The Drothians showed their meditation circles. It was always peaceful. It was always calm. "The presentations will begin next week," Keithis continued. "You will show us 3 to 5 minutes of footage. Show us how your species relaxes. Show us your hobbies. Show us what makes you happy." Jinho raised his hand. "Professor, just regular hobbies? Nothing special?" "Nothing special," Keithis said. "Just normal recreational activities. The things your species does when you are not working." "Nothing species." The 3 humans looked at each other. They seemed excited. Yuna was already typing on her small computer device. Teho nodded slowly like he was making plans. Jinho smiled even wider. "This will be fun," Yuna said. Keithis felt pleased. The humans seemed enthusiastic about the assignment. Perhaps the reports were wrong. Perhaps humans were just like every other species. They probably enjoyed simple pleasures like everyone else. After class, Keithis walked to her office. Her colleague, Professor Mellish, was waiting for her. Mellish was an old Drothian with gray skin and wise eyes. "How were the humans?" Mellish asked. "Polite," Keithis said. "Friendly. I do not understand why everyone is so worried about them." Mellish made a strange sound. "I have read more reports than you, Kethis. Humans are not what they seem. They evolved on a death world." "A death world?" Kethis laughed. "Their planet has water and plants. It seems pleasant enough." Their planet has earthquakes," Mellish said. "Volcanoes, hurricanes, floods, predators that eat meat, diseases that kill millions. And yet humans survived. They did more than survive. They conquered it all." Keithis shook her head. "You worry too much, old friend. They are just students. They will show me videos of their gardens and their peaceful activities. Every species is the same when it comes to fun. Well, 5. With state." Mellish stood up to leave. "I hope you are right, Keithis. But I have a feeling you are about to learn something new about the galaxy." That night, Keithis reviewed her notes about humans. She read that they needed to sleep for 8 hours every day. She read that they ate both plants and animals. She read that they lived for about 100 years. Everything seemed normal. She found a section about human recreation. It mentioned something called sports and games. It mentioned music and art. These were common among many species. Keithis felt confident, but at the bottom of the page, she found a note. It was marked with a warning symbol. It said, "Human recreational activities may seem unusual to other species. Viewer discretion is advised." Keithis ignored the warning. She had seen unusual things before. She was a professional. Nothing could shock her. She closed her computer and went to sleep. Next week would be presentation day. She looked forward to seeing what humans did for fun. It would probably be boring. It would probably be just like everyone else. She had no idea how wrong she was. In their small apartment on the academy campus, the 3 human students were making plans. "What should we show them?" Yuna asked. "I have so many ideas," Jinho laughed. "Let us start simple. I will show them some outdoor activities. Hiking, climbing, maybe some water sports. I will show them entertainment," Yuna said. "Movies, games, theme parks, the fun stuff." Teho thought for a moment. "I will show them the interesting things. Deep sea exploration, volcano tours, food challenges." "Perfect," Jinho said. "We will show them that humans know how to have a good time." They had no idea that their definition of a good time was about to terrify an entire classroom. Presentation day arrived. Professor Keithis stood at the front of the classroom, with her 4 arms folded neatly. She felt calm and ready. This was her favorite part of the semester. Learning about recreation helped her understand each species better. "Today we begin our presentations," she said. "Who would like to go first?" Several hands went up. Borthos, the Krillian, volunteered. He walked to the front and connected his device to the large screen. "On my world," Borthos said, "we enjoy tending our crystal gardens. Watch." The video showed Krillians sitting quietly among glowing crystals. They moved slowly and carefully. They watered small plants with gentle hands. Soft music played in the background. It was peaceful. It was beautiful. "Wonderful," Keithis said. "Very relaxing." Next came the Fenari student. Her video showed her species floating in warm pools of water. They made soft sounds and held hands. Some of them slept while floating. The whole class made sounds of approval. 2 more students presented. One showed meditation under 3 moons. Another showed a gentle form of dance that took 5 hours to complete. Everything was calm. Everything was safe. "Excellent presentations," Kethis said. "Now, Let us hear from our new human students. Jinho, would you like to go first? Jinho stood up with a big smile. Yes, Professor. I am excited to share. He walked to the front and connected his device. The other students leaned forward with curiosity. The humans had been friendly all week. Everyone expected their video to be just as peaceful as the others. On Earth, Jinho said, we have many outdoor activities. I will show you some of my favorites. The screen lit up. The first scene showed tall mountains covered in snow. This is called mountain climbing, Jinho said. Humans climb to the top of the highest peaks on our planet. The video showed humans attached to ropes. They were climbing up a wall of ice. The wind was blowing hard. Snow was falling. The humans wore thick clothes, but their faces were red from cold. Porthos raised his hand. Jinho, why are they doing this? Is something chasing them? No, Jinho said. They do this for fun. For fun? Porthos looked confused. But it looks dangerous. It is dangerous, Jinho said happily. That is part of the excitement. Some people die every year trying to climb these mountains. The classroom went silent. Keithis felt her heart's beat faster. Did she hear correctly? Humans died doing this activity? And they still did it for fun? Let me show you more, Jinho said. The screen changed. Now it showed humans standing on the edge of a tall cliff. Below them was water. Blue, beautiful water. But it was very far down. This is cliff diving, Jinho said. Humans jump from high places into water. A human in the video stepped forward. He spread his arms wide. Then he jumped. The Finari student screamed. Several other students covered their eyes. Keithis gripped her desk with all four hands. The human fell through the air. He fell for a long time. The water came closer and closer. Then he hit the water with a huge splash. Is he dead? The Finari asked in a small voice. No, Jinho laughed. He is fine. Watch. The human came up from the water. He was smiling and waving. His friends on the cliff were cheering. Keithis tried to speak, but her voice was weak. Jinho, how high was that cliff? About 30 meters, Jinho said. That is not very high. Some people jump from over 50 meters. 50 meters? Keithis repeated. Willingly? Without being forced? Of course, Jinho said. It is very popular. People travel far to find good cliffs. Keithis looked at her other students. They were all very still. Their eyes were wide. Some of them had turned pale. The Krillian was making a low humming sound that meant extreme stress in his species. Perhaps we should move on, Keithis said carefully. Sure, Jinho said. Let me show you one more thing. This is my personal favorite. The screen changed again. This time it showed a long road. Standing on the road were humans sitting on strange two-wheeled machines. These are motorcycles, Jinho explained. They are vehicles that go very fast. The video started. The machines began to move. They went faster and faster. The sound was loud and rough. The humans leaned low over their machines as they raced down the road. How fast are they going? Keithis asked. She was not sure she wanted to know. This race? About 300 kilometers per hour, Jinho said. 300 kilometers per hour. Keithis did the math in her head. That was faster than most passenger spacecraft moved inside a space station, and these humans were doing this on an open road, with no protection except thin clothes and a small helmet. The video showed a human leaning into a sharp turn. The motorcycle was almost touching the ground. One small mistake would mean death. Sometimes there are crashes, Jinho said casually. But the riders know the risk. They do it anyway because the speed feels amazing. A Drothian student in the back stood up suddenly. I need to leave, he said. I feel unwell. Me too, said the Finari. Keithis nodded. Perhaps we should take a short break. Jinho looked confused. Did I do something wrong? I only showed basic activities. I did not even show the extreme sports. Extreme sports? Keithis' voice cracked. There are more extreme versions? Oh yes, Jinho said. Like base jumping. or wingsuit flying, or free solo climbing without ropes. Those are really exciting. Keithis sat down in her chair. Her 4 hands were shaking. She had taught for 40 years. She had seen students from warrior species. She had studied civilizations that lived in active volcanoes. Nothing had prepared her for this. During the break, she found Jinho in the hallway. He was drinking water and looking at his communication device. "Jinho," she said carefully, "I must ask you something." "Of course, Professor. Why do humans do these things? These dangerous activities? What is the purpose?" Jinho thought for a moment. "It makes us feel alive," he said. "When we face danger, our bodies release special chemicals. They make us feel happy and excited. We call it an adrenaline rush. You become happy when you face death? Well, not death exactly. Just danger. It makes us appreciate life more." He smiled. "Professor, these are normal hobbies on Earth. Millions of people do them every day. Millions. Millions of humans throwing themselves off cliffs and racing toward death at impossible speeds. For fun. For happiness." Keithis returned to her classroom after the break. Half of her students were missing. They had gone to see the campus counselor. "Shall we continue tomorrow?" Keithis asked the remaining students. The humans looked disappointed. Yuna raised her hand. "Professor, I was going to present next. My videos are less physical, more about entertainment." "Entertainment. Yes, perhaps that would be calmer. Movies and music. All species had those. It would be peaceful." "Very well," Keithis said. "Yuna, you may present tomorrow." As the class ended, Keithis noticed something. Jinho, Yuna, and Teho were talking quietly with each other. They seemed worried. "Do you think we scared them?" Yuna whispered. "Maybe a little," Jinho said. "I should not have shown the motorcycle racing." "My presentation will be calmer," Yuna said. Keithis felt relieved hearing this. Yes, movies and parks. That would be normal. That would be safe. She had no idea that she was about to learn what humans considered entertainment. The next day, only 8 students came to class. 4 had dropped out completely. They sent messages saying they needed time to recover from the mountain climbing video. One Fenari student had not stopped shaking since seeing the cliff diving. Professor Keithis stood at the front of the classroom. She had spent all night reading more about humans. She had learned new words like extreme sports and thrill-seeking. She had learned that humans actually paid money to experience fear. She still did not understand why. "Today we continue our presentations," Keithis said. Her voice was not as confident as before. "Yuna, are you ready?" Yuna walked to the front with a bright smile. She wore a colorful shirt with a picture of a small yellow animal on it. "Thank you, Professor. I want to show you how humans entertain themselves. We have amazing ways to have fun that do not involve mountains or motorcycles." Keithis felt her shoulders relax. "Good. Something calm. Something normal. First, I will show you human sports," Yuna said. The screen lit up. It showed a large building filled with thousands of humans. They were all shouting and waving their arms. In the center was a square area with ropes around it. "This is called boxing," Yuna said. 2 humans fight each other. The goal is to hit the other person until they fall down. 2 humans entered the square area. They wore small gloves on their hands. A bell made a sound. Then, they started hitting each other. Borthos made a choking noise. "They are attacking each other." "Yes," Yuna said. "That is the sport." The humans on screen punched each other in the face. In the body. Blood appeared on one human's nose. He kept fighting. The crowd cheered louder. "Why is no one stopping them?" a student asked. "This is violence." "It is controlled violence," Yuna explained. "There are rules. You cannot hit below the waist. You cannot hit when the other person falls down. It is very organized." "Organized violence," Keithis repeated slowly. "For entertainment." "Yes, millions of people watch boxing. It is very exciting." Yuna smiled like she was sharing something wonderful. We have other fighting sports too. Wrestling, martial arts, something called mixed martial arts, where you can kick and punch and throw people. The video showed a highlight of different fights. Humans kicking each other, humans throwing each other to the ground, humans hitting each other until one could not stand anymore. The crowds always cheered. The fighters are heroes on Earth, Yuna said. Children want to grow up to be like them. Keithis wrote a note on her tablet. It said, humans train their young to fight. Consider this normal. Very concerning. WWs. Keithis wrote a note 200 form. Keithis wrote a note on her tablet. Keithis wrote a note on her tablet. Keithis wrote a note. Keithis wrote a note. Let me show you something different, Yuna said. This is how humans relax at home. The screen changed. It showed a dark room. A young human was sitting alone, staring at a screen. On the screen was a dark hallway in an old building. This is called a horror movie, Yuna said. Humans watch scary stories for fun. Something moved in the dark hallway on the movie screen. The human watching made a scared sound. Music started playing. It was tense and frightening. A creature appeared on screen. It had a twisted face and long fingers. It screamed. The human watching screamed too. Then she laughed. She is laughing? A Drothian student asked. She was just terrified. Yes, Yuna said. That is the fun part. We enjoy being scared. You enjoy fear? Keithis said. Her voice was very quiet. Oh yes. Horror movies are very popular. The scarier, the better. Some people cannot sleep after watching them. They still watch more the next night. Keithis thought about her own species. Among the Villani, fear was considered a medical condition. If a Villani felt fear, they went to a doctor. They took medicine. Fear meant something was wrong, but humans created fear on purpose. They paid money to feel it. My favorite hobby, Yuna continued, is visiting theme parks. Let me show you. The screen showed a huge, colorful park. Tall structures rose into the sky. They twisted and turned in impossible ways. These are called roller coasters, Yuna said. Humans sit in small cars that go very fast along these tracks. The video showed humans climbing into a small car. The car started moving. It climbed slowly up a tall hill. Higher and higher. The humans were already screaming. Then the car reached the top. For one moment, it stopped. The humans could see how high they were. Then it dropped. The car fell straight down. The humans screamed louder than anything Keithis had ever heard. But they were smiling. They were laughing. The car twisted and turned and went upside down. The humans raised their hands in the air. Why are they not holding on? Borthos shouted. They will fall out. They trust the safety bars, Yuna said. And raising your hands makes it more exciting. More exciting than falling to your death? We are not falling to our death. We are having fun. Yuna showed more videos. Roller coasters that went backwards. Roller coasters that dropped humans straight down from 50 meters. Roller coasters that spun humans around until they felt sick. Humans pay large amounts of money for this, Yuna said. Families go together. Children love it. There are parks like this all over Earth. One student raised a shaking hand. Yuna, I must know. Do humans actually enjoy fear? True fear? The kind that makes you think you will die? Yuna thought carefully. Yes and no. We enjoy controlled fear. We know the roller coaster is safe. We know the horror movie is not real. The fear is real. But the danger is not. It gives us strong feelings without actual risk. But yesterday Jinho showed us activities with real risk, Keithis said. Real death. Those are different, Yuna said. Some humans enjoy real risk. Some enjoy fake risk. Some enjoy both. We have many ways to feel excited. Keithis put down her tablet. She looked at her remaining students. 2 more had left during the horror movie section. One was crying quietly in the corner. Yuna, Keithis said slowly. On my planet, we have a saying. A species that seeks danger is a species that will not survive. How have humans survived this long if you constantly chase fear and risk? Yuna smiled. It was a kind smile, but Kethis saw something behind it. Something she had not noticed before in the humans. A spark. A hunger. Professor, I think that is exactly why we survived. We are not afraid of being afraid. We run toward challenges, not away from them. Every dangerous thing on our planet, we conquered it. Not by hiding, by facing it, by making it fun. The classroom was completely silent. Kethis understood something in that moment. The humans were not crazy. They were not broken. They were forged. Their planet had tried to kill them every day for millions of years. Instead of becoming careful and fearful, they had become the opposite. They had learned to love the fight. Thank you, Yuna, Kethis said. Very educational. As Yuna returned to her seat, Kethis looked at Tejo. He had been quiet through both presentations. Tomorrow was his turn. Tejo, Kethis said. What will you show us? Tejo gave a small smile. Some things humans explore for curiosity. The deep ocean, volcanoes, and some of our food traditions. Food traditions? Kethis felt relieved. Finally, something normal. Every species ate. Eating was safe. That sounds pleasant. I hope you will find it interesting, Tejo said. That night, Kethis dreamed of humans falling from cliffs and laughing. She dreamed of humans fighting each other while crowds cheered. She dreamed of humans screaming with joy as they fell through the air. She woke up in a cold sweat. 2 more days. 2 more presentations. Then this nightmare would be over. She had no idea that the worst was still to come. Only 5 students remained in the class. Borthos was still there. But he sat in the very back corner. He had brought a calming blanket from his home world. He wrapped it around himself and rocked slowly back and forth. Professor Kethis entered the classroom with heavy steps. She had not slept well in 3 days. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw humans jumping off cliffs and hitting each other for sport. She had contacted the academy counselor twice. Good morning, she said. Her voice was tired. Today is our final human presentation. Tejo, please begin. Tejo walked to the front calmly. He moved slowly and spoke softly. Out of the 3 humans, he seemed the most peaceful. Kethis hoped his presentation would be gentler than the others. Thank you, Professor. I will show you 3 things that humans do for curiosity and pleasure. First, I will show you how we explore. The screen lit up. It showed a vast, dark emptiness. Slowly, lights appeared. A machine was descending into the darkness. This is the deep ocean on Earth, Tejo said. The bottom of our seas is deeper than mountains are tall. It is completely dark. The pressure is so strong it can crush metal. No sunlight reaches there. Strange creatures live in that darkness. The video showed the machine going deeper. Numbers appeared on screen showing the depth. 1,000 meters. 2,000. 3,000. The darkness was absolute, except for the machine's lights. Humans build special submarines to go there, Tejo said. We call it the Midnight Zone. Below that is the Abyssal Zone, and below that is the Hadal Zone, named after the human word for the land of the dead. The land of the dead? Borthos whispered from his blanket. It is just a name, Tejo said. The deepest point on Earth is almost 11,000 meters deep. Humans have gone there. Tejo said. Why? Kethis asked. What is there? Mostly darkness and strange fish. That is the point. We go because we do not know what is there. We go because it is difficult and dangerous. The video showed creatures from the deep. Fish with huge teeth. Animals that glowed in the dark. Creatures that looked like monsters from nightmares. The humans in the submarine were excited and happy. The pressure at the bottom can kill humans instantly if anything breaks, Tejo said. But we keep going back. We want to know what else is down there. Kethis made a note. Humans enter crushing depths to look at fish. cannot explain this behavior. Quote, "Next I will show you volcano tourism," Tejo said. "Volcano?" Keithis asked. "The mountains that explode with fire?" "Yes. Humans like to visit them." The screen showed a massive mountain. Smoke rose from the top. Red light glowed from inside. The ground around it was black and burned. "This is an active volcano," Tejo said. "The inside is filled with melted rock, called lava. It is hot enough to melt steel." Humans appeared on screen. They were walking toward the volcano. They wore special suits. But Keithis could see the heat waves in the air. It was incredibly hot. "These tourists are visiting the lava lakes," Tejo said. "Some volcanoes have pools of liquid rock that you can watch." "Watch?" a student said. "They just watch melted rock?" "Yes, it is beautiful. Orange and red, always moving, very peaceful." The video showed humans standing near the edge of a lava lake. The heat was so strong their cameras could barely work. One human reached out with a stick and touched the lava. It burst into flames immediately. "Sometimes volcanoes erupt without warning," Tejo said. "Tourists have died this way. But new tourists always come." Borthos stood up suddenly. "I cannot continue. I am sorry, Professor. I will take the failing grade." He ran out of the room with his blanket trailing behind him. Keithis did not stop him. She understood completely. Finally, Tejo said, "I will show you a human food tradition. Food." Yes. Keithis held on to this hope. Eating was simple. Eating was safe. Every species ate. Humans eat many different foods, Tejo said. But some foods are special. They contain a chemical that causes pain when we eat them. "Pain?" Keithis said. "The food causes pain?" "Yes. We call it spicy food. The chemical is called capsaicin. It triggers pain signals in our mouths and throats. It makes us sweat. It makes our eyes water. It can make us feel like we are on fire. And you eat this? We love it. Millions of humans eat spicy food every day. But some humans take it further." Tejo smiled. "We have competitions." The screen showed a long table. Humans sat on both sides. In front of them were small red peppers. A crowd watched and cheered. "This is a spicy food challenge," Tejo said. "Humans compete to eat the hottest peppers in existence. The hottest ones can cause serious injury." The competition began. Humans started eating the peppers. At first, they seemed fine. Then their faces turned red. Sweat poured down their skin. Some started coughing. Some started crying, but they kept eating. "The Carolina Reaper pepper is over 2 million units on our heat scale," Tejo said. "Eating one is like eating fire. The pain can last for hours. Some people go to the hospital." On screen, a human ate a small red pepper. His face went pale, then red, then almost purple. He fell off his chair and rolled on the ground. His friends were laughing. He was laughing too, between screams of pain. "He is laughing," Keithis said. She was not asking a question anymore. She was just stating what she saw. Nothing made sense anymore. "The pain releases the same chemicals as joy," Tejo said. "After the pain stops, humans feel very happy. It is like the adrenaline Jinho mentioned. We poison ourselves a little bit to feel better afterward." "You poison yourselves. For pleasure." "Yes, we also do this with alcohol and caffeine. But spicy food is my favorite." The remaining students sat in complete silence. Two of them had tears running down their faces. One was staring at nothing, his mind clearly broken. Keithis looked at the three humans, Jinho, Yuna, Tejo. They sat together in the front row, looking concerned. "Did we upset everyone again?" Yuna asked quietly. "We tried to pick normal things," Jinho said. "These are things most humans do." Keithis stood up slowly. Her forearms hung at her sides. She felt something she had not felt in 40 years of teaching. "Defeat. Class is over," she said. "Please go home. The remaining presentations are cancelled." The other species students fled the room immediately. They did not look back. The three humans stayed. They looked at Professor Kathis with genuine worry. "Professor," Tejo said gently, "we are sorry if we disturbed you. We thought you wanted to see normal human recreation." "Normal," Kathis repeated. "You climb mountains that kill you. You dive from deadly heights. You race machines at impossible speeds. You fight each other for entertainment. You create fear as a product. You explore places that can crush you. You visit lakes of fire. You poison yourselves with food. And you call this normal?" The three humans looked at each other. "When you say it like that," Jinho said, "it does sound a bit much." "A bit much?" Keithis said. She laughed. It was not a happy laugh. "I have taught for 40 years. I have seen hundreds of species. Never have I encountered anything like humans." She walked to her desk and sat down heavily. "I need to think," she said. "Please leave." The humans gathered their things. At the door, Yuna turned back. "Professor, are you okay?" Kethis looked at the young human. This soft creature with no claws, no scales, no protection. This fragile being from a death world who thought pain was entertainment, and fear was fun. "I do not know," Kethis said honestly. "I truly do not know." The humans left. Kethis sat alone in her empty classroom. Tomorrow, she would have to make a decision. She did not know if she could continue teaching after this. Some knowledge, once gained, could not be forgotten. Humans were not just another species. They were something else entirely. Something the galaxy was not ready for, and they thought they were boring. Professor Keithis sat in the Academy Director's office. Her resignation letter sat on the desk between them. Director Volmesh, an ancient being with silver scales and kind eyes, had been reading it for 10 minutes without speaking. 40 years, Volmesh finally said. "You have taught here for 40 years. You have handled students from the most dangerous species in the known galaxy, and you are resigning because of 3 human exchange students?" "It is not just the students," Keithis said. "It is what they represent. What I learned about their species." Tell me." Keithis took a deep breath. She had prepared for this conversation. Humans evolved on a Category 4 death world. They should not have survived. Their planet tried to kill them with earthquakes, volcanoes, floods, diseases, and predators. Any other species would have died or evolved to become careful and afraid. Humans did the opposite. The opposite? They learned to love danger. They did not just survive their death world. They conquered it. And when they ran out of natural dangers, they created new ones. They invented ways to fall from great heights. They built machines that move faster than any creature needs to move. They created entire industries around fear and pain. Volmesh leaned back in his chair. "This sounds concerning. But I fail to see why it requires your resignation." Keithis stood up and walked to the window. She could see the campus below. Students from dozens of worlds walking peacefully together. "Director, I have studied alien species for my entire career. I always believed that I understood the basic principles. Species seek safety. Species avoid pain. Species want to survive. These are universal truths." "They are," Volmesh agreed. "Humans break every rule. They seek danger. They enjoy pain. They risk their lives for entertainment. They are not broken or insane. Their entire evolution made them this way. They are optimized for survival through aggression, curiosity, and the complete rejection of fear." Kethis turned back to face the director. "I am not qualified to teach about humans. No one is. They are beyond classification. The standard rules of xenobiology do not apply to them." There was a knock at the door. Volmesh called out, "Enter." The 3 human students walked in. They looked nervous and worried. "Director Volmesh." "Professor Keithis," Jinho said. "We heard about the resignation. We came to apologize." Quote, Yuna stepped forward. "We never meant to upset anyone. We thought you wanted to see normal human activities. We understand now that we should have been more careful." Tejo added, "We did not realize our hobbies would be so disturbing." Kethis looked at them. These three young humans who thought cliff diving and volcano tourism and eating poison were normal weekend activities. They genuinely did not understand what was wrong. Tell me something, Kethis said. When you watch those videos of yourselves, what do you feel? Happy, Yuna said. Excited. Nostalgic. When you jump from a cliff, what do you feel? Alive, Jinho said. More alive than any other moment. When you eat that burning food? Joy, Taeho said. After the pain, there is only joy. Kethis sat down slowly. She understood now. It was not that humans enjoyed suffering. It was that they had rewired their own minds to transform suffering into pleasure, fear into excitement, pain into happiness. It was the most terrifying survival adaptation she had ever seen. Director Volmesh cleared his throat. Professor Kethis, I cannot accept your resignation. Director, you are the only teacher at this academy who has now seen the truth about humans. That makes you the most qualified person to teach about them, not the least qualified. But I do not understand them. Then study them. Learn. Is that not what teachers do? Oh. The three humans watched this exchange with hope in their eyes. They did not want to be the cause of someone losing their job. They just wanted to share their culture. Yuna spoke softly. Professor, we know we are different. Every species we meet tells us we are strange, but we do not want to be frightening. We want to be friends. You are not frightening, Kethis said. She paused. That is not true. You are terrifying. But I am beginning to think that is not a bad thing. What do you mean? Jinho asked. Kethis thought carefully before speaking. The galaxy is not always safe. There are threats out there. Old species. Dangerous species. Species that want to conquer and destroy. For millions of years, peaceful civilizations have hidden from them, hoping to survive. She looked at the three humans. But your species does not hide. You run toward danger. You embrace fear. You find joy in challenges that would break any other species. Perhaps the galaxy needs creatures like you. Taeho nodded slowly. We do not like bullies. On Earth, when someone threatens the weak, we protect them. It is in our nature, even if protecting them is dangerous. Especially then, Jinho said. The greater the danger, the more we want to help. Director Volmesh smiled. It seems there is much we can learn from humans. Professor Kethis, will you stay and teach us? Kethis looked at her resignation letter. Then, she looked at the three humans. These impossible creatures who had survived a death world by refusing to be afraid of death. I will stay, she said. But I want the humans in my advanced class, not as students, as teaching assistants. Us? Yuna said with surprise. Who better to teach about humans than humans themselves? The galaxy needs to understand your species. Not fear you. Understand you. The three humans looked at each other. Slowly, they began to smile. We would be honored, Taeho said. Over the next few months, things changed at the Galactic Academy. Professor Kethis taught a new course called Understanding Humans, a survival guide for the galaxy. The human students helped her explain the strange behaviors of their species. Other students slowly stopped being afraid. They learned that humans were not dangerous to them. Humans saved their violence for sports, and their fear for entertainment. To their friends, humans were fiercely loyal and protective. Borthos eventually returned to class. He still wrapped himself in his calming blanket during the scary parts. But he stayed. He wanted to understand. Professor, he asked one day, if humans are so dangerous, why do they not conquer the galaxy? They clearly have the ability. Kethis looked at Jinho, Yuna, and Taeho. They were helping other students with their assignments. Yuna was showing a Fanari how to make origami. Jinho was explaining soccer rules to a group of interested Drothians. Taeho was quietly helping a struggling student with mathematics. Because they do not want to conquer, Kethis said. They want to explore. They want to experience. They want to make friends. Humans are dangerous. Yes. But they choose not to use that danger against others. They use it to protect. So they are like guard animals? Keithis smiled. Do not call them that to their faces. But yes, the galaxy may have found its greatest protectors in the most unlikely species. At the end of the semester, Professor Keithis wrote a new report on humans. It replaced all the old reports in the Academy database. It began with these words: humans are impossible. They break every rule of xenobiology and psychology. They evolved on a death world and learned to love death. They face fear with joy and pain with laughter. They should not exist, but they do. And the galaxy is better for it. She never regretted staying, and the humans never understood why everyone thought their hobbies were so strange. To them, it was all just normal fun. Some things in the universe cannot be explained. Humans are one of them. The rest of the galaxy simply had to accept it. And maybe, just maybe, learn to have a little more fun themselves.